Dayton. Okay, and Alex. Yes, President, where is he?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Can you hear me okay? As I have no voice. Excuse me. Can we hear me now? Okay. Well, good morning and Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to have you join us this morning, not just for Shabbat morning services, but also as we celebrate the Bar Mitzvah of Jonah Dritz. I know that he's been working on this for a long time, and we're all really excited to be able to share in the joy of this day and recognize how long he's worked and the incredible amount of skill it takes to be able to lead a service. No pressure. So with that, I would like to introduce you a little bit to our prayer book. For those of you who may not have walked in and grabbed one, I encourage you to do that now. But if you did, you want to make sure that it says Shabbat on the side. They should all say Shabbat, but in case you think, wow, I'm on the wrong page, you just might be. We don't want that to happen. This is a Hebrew opening book, which means it goes from right to left instead of left to right. So if that is new to you, and the numbering will make a little bit more sense. Now, in your book, if we go to a page that we'll be going to soon, let's look at page, let's say, 74. It's an example that shows you that both pages actually constitute one page. So it's a two-page spread. We have the direct Hebrew for the prayer, followed on the side with the transliteration, which is the way to pronounce it using English letters. And there's a direct translation of it underneath that Hebrew prayer. Sometimes there's more than one reading on the other side, and those are interpretive, more poetic readings of that prayer. So we will read one of those on the page and then turn to the next one. So you will be moving pages a lot, but Jonah is going to help you, no pressure again, to stay on the right page. So hopefully that will happen. But we'll begin this morning's service with the words of Hine Matov, which really celebrate what we're doing now, which is to be together Behold how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together in this space.
You can find the words on page 10.
We begin on page 66.
Each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day, to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. We rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow, disappointments weigh heavily on them. Families have been broken, loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered, ideals are betrayed and mocked, answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore our hope and renew our faith.
At this hello? I gotta get used to this. I'm not used to using this. Can we hear me now? Okay, excellent. I hope that's the last time I ask you. At this time, it is tradition that on a bar mitzvah, our young student receives a talis, a talit, and he has a presentation from his parents when he receives this to wear for the first time while leading services. If you want to come on forward.
So an important part of the bar mitzvah ceremony is the presentation of the new adult's talit, or prayer shah. A talit is a rectangular shah used during the Jewish religious service and other special occasions. Embroidered along the neck of the talit is a Hebrew prayer that is said prior to placing on one's shoulder. This talit acts as a visual reminder of one's duties and obligations as a Jew to uphold God's commandment.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hit'atef b'tzitzit.
We now turn together to page 74.
We pray together on the top of page 77. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei kol basar umufli la'asot. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created it, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Baruch atah Adonai, asher beyato nefesh kol chai v'ruach kol basar ish. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasek vivina, lechavhen ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, pokei achirim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamachin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten le'ayef koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avin shenai me'anai, utnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, otzer Yisrael b'givura. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Page 86.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. O Adonai our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you, by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamalamed Torah la'amo Yisrael.
Page 88.
These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
We turn together to page 106.
Yitkadash miraba Ve'alma divrach yotev yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayedeko bet Yisrael Bagala bagala u'vizman kariv Ve'himru Amen Yehesh Yishtabach, Vitbahar, Vitramam, Vitnasi, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemir de Kudishah, Vehela Mikol Bechata, Veshirata, Tush Bechata, Venechemata, Damiran Bealma, Vehimeru.
Please rise as we join together on page 108.
Please pray with me on the top of page 110. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uverei hoshe, osei shalom uverei et hakol, hama'ir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha berachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshi, ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam be'ochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha, tiperach Adonai Eloheinu, Al sheva ma'aseh yedecha, va'al ma'arei or she'asita yifarucha selach, or chadash al tzion ta'ir, v'nizkei chulanu me'ora le'oro, baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hama'arot. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and, lovingly, to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'achava. Please be seated. Please pray with me on page 116. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzabecha hayom levavecha v'shinantam levadecha v'dibarta b'am b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'leftecha v'derech u'v'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu lefotafot b'neinecha u'ktaftam Amuzuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskaru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leolechem ahani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeit yechem meretz Mitzrayim l'chiyot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Please pray with me on page 121. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion and guide our sacred ways. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice.
Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufedei chinumecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go'aleinu Adonai Tzavaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Please rise and turn to page 124 for the Amidah.
Adonai Sefatai Tifta Ufia Gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch Ata Adonai
Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot Imot, Umevi Gula Livnei Bneihem, V'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Abraham, V'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav Levoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umarid HaGashem, Mechalkel Hayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim Verofer Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Milchamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit Umechaye, Umatmir Yeshua, V'ne'eman Ata Lechayot HaKol, Baruch Ata Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
Nekadesh et Shemcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim אותו בשברוم, וכתוב על יד דברך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, קדוש, קדוש,
Please pray with me at the top of page 135. You may be seated. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 138. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors, forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot.
We continue together on page 140. We continue with a moment of silent prayer and meditation.
We prepare for the Torah service, which is the central part of our service. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and turn to page 244. And those honors that are participating in this first half of the Torah service can come forward at this time. The Torah passing the ark. Green doors. Forgot I had that mic. As we take the Torah from the ark, our tradition teaches that Moses received this Torah at Sinai and passed it on to Joshua, to the elders, to the men of the great assembly. And so it has been passed through all the generations of the Jewish people, each generation teaching and adding their own piece to our tradition. And Jonah, today this becomes yours to both literally and symbolically hold in your heart and in your arms as you become the next link in this chain. Kind of give it a hug and smile. And then I'll pass. To Jay. Bear hug.
Almighty, Umar Shemo Yachtav.
May be seated.
You timed your walking pace perfectly for the end of the song. That is a skill I have not even mastered. This morning's Torah reading comes from Parshat Yitro, which Jonah has been looking at for, only about a year. And for those who are less familiar with the Torah scroll, one of the pieces that makes this part of the service most challenging for the B'nai Mitzvah students is that our Torah scroll is handwritten without vowels and without punctuation. And it's in Hebrew, not English. The section he will be reading from is the opening of the passage when Jethro comes to greet Moses after the Israelites have crossed the sea. It is from Exodus chapter 18, starting at the beginning of the chapter. And if you have, I've got it. If you have one of the Torah commentaries, it can be found on page 471. It is my pleasure to call forward, for the honor of the first Aliyah, Phyllis and Robert Dritz, and Sydney and Rod Freelo for the translation. Ya'amdu perula bracha bat Leibel v'Ruven Mordechai ben Yitzchak le'Aliyah. And if you want to come on this side so you have the mic. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lorno et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. And if I can have you swing around that side of him.
Amen. Vayishma Yitro Kohen Midyan Hotain Moshe Kosher Asa Elohim LeMoshe Yisrael Amo Ki Hotzi Adonai Yisrael Mi Mitzrayim Vayikach Yitro Hotain Moshe Etzipora Asher Moshe Achar Shiluhecha Ve'et Shnei Banecha Asher Shem Ha'echad Gershom Ki Amar Ger Hayiti Be'eretz Nokriya V'Shem Ha'echad Eliezer Ki Elhi Avi Bezri Vayzileni Mechrev Paro Vayavo Yitro Chotain Moshe Uvenavishto Al Moshe El Hamidbar Asher Hu Chonei Shem Har Ha'Elohim Vayomer Moshe Ani Necha Yitro Ba'lecha V'ishtecha V'shenei Banyecha Imach Vayetze Moshe Likra Hotno Vayishtachu Vayisheklo Vayishalu Yisrahu L'Shalom Vayavo Ha'ohela
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tokenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Jethro, priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, God's people, how the Eternal had brought Israel out from Egypt. So Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after she had been sent home, and her 2 sons, of whom one was named Gershom, that is to say, I have been a stranger in a foreign land, and the other was named Eleazar, meaning my ancestors' God was my help, delivering me from the sword of Pharaoh.
Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought Moses' son and wife to him in the wilderness, where he was encamped in the mountains of God. He sent word to Moses, I, your father-in-law, Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law. He bowed low and kissed him. Each asked after the other's welfare, and they went into the tent.
For the second Aliyah, we call forward Ruth and Dan Levin and Kimberly and Alex Anzek for the translation. Ya'amdu Ruth Chaya bat Ruven v'Chaim Daniel Aliyah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayasaper Moshe lechotno kosher asa Adonai lefaro u'mitzrayim alodot Yisrael ekotova asher mitzatam v'derech vayatzilem Adonai vayichad Yitro al kol hatova asher asa Adonai liYisrael Asher hitilo miyad Mitzrayim, Vayomer Yitro, Baruch Adonai Asher Hitzilechem miyad Mitzrayim umiyad Paro asher hitzilechem mitachat yad Mitzrayim Ata yadati ki gadol Adonai mikol Elohim ki vadavar asher zadu aleihem. Vayikach Yitro hotein Moshe elav zachin leilachim vayavo acharon v'chol ziknei Yisrael lechol lechem im hotein Moshe lifnei Elohim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Moses then recounted to his father-in-law everything that the Eternal had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that had befallen them on the way, and how the Eternal had delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced over all the kindness that the Eternal had shown Israel when delivering them from the Egyptians. Blessed be the Eternal, Jethro said, who delivered you from the Egyptians and from Pharaoh, and who delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians.
Now I know that the Eternal is greater than all the gods, yes, by the result of their very schemes against the people. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to partake of the meal before God with Moses' father-in-law.
For the honor of the third Aliyah, who became bat mitzvah not so long ago, Ta'amod Chana Ya'el Bat Yaakov, and for those who don't know, this is his sister Hannah, and his mom will be reading the translation.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayechi mimocharat, vayeshev Moshe lishpoach am, vayamod ha'am Moshe min haboker ad ha'arev, vayere chotein Moshe kol asher hu osei la'am, vayomer mahadavar hazeh asher ata osei la'am maduach. Yata Yoshev levadecha v'chohan yitzav elecha min boker ad arev. Vayomer Moshe lechotno ki yavu elai lidrosh Elohim ki yeh lechem davar ba'elai v'shafati bein ish uvein re'echu V'hodati ehechei Elohim ve'et toratav. Vayomer chotein Moshe elav lo tov hadavar asher ata osei nebol tevol gam ata gam ha'am hazeh asher imach ki avad imcha hadavar lo tov Asehu levadecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam neta b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Next next day Moses saw, as magistrate among the people, while the people stood about Moses from morning until evening. But when Moses' father-in-law saw how much he had to do for the people, he said, "What is this thing that you are doing to the people? Why do you act alone while all the people stand about you from morning until evening?" Moses replied to his father-in-law, "It is because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a dispute, it comes before me, and I decide between one person and another, and I make known the laws and teachings of God." But Moses' father-in-law said to him, "The thing you are doing is not right. You will surely wear yourself out, and these people as well, for the task is too heavy for you, and you cannot do it alone."
The honor of the fourth aliyah, which is the central part of the bar mitzvah, is that Jonah will bestow the blessings over the Torah reading on behalf of our congregation, and Dad will be reading the translation. Ya'amod Yonah Yitzchak ben Yaakov le'aliyah bar mitzvah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen. Ata shima bikoli eyatzecha v'yehi Elohim imach hayeh atalam mo Elohim hovata ata hadvarim el Elohim v'hizarta ehem hakim ve'hatoro v'hodata lahem hadarim yelechuba ve'et hamosei asher yasun ve'eta techazeh mikoham anshe ha'ayil yerei Elohim anshe yemet shnei vatsa ush to Visamta Elohim Sarei Elohim Sarei Ma'o Sarei Mosei Visarei Asero Vishaftu Echam Mikole V'haya Kodavar Hagadol Uvo Alechu V'chohadavar Katon Yishpo Ham Yishpatuhem V'hekam Elechecha V'neso Itach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temeh v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Now listen to me. I will give you counsel, and God be with you. You represent the people before God. You bring the disputes before God, and enjoin upon them the laws and the teachings, and make known to them the way they are to go and the practices they are to follow. You shall also seek out from among all the people capable individuals who fear God, trustworthy ones who spurn ill-gotten gain. Set these over them as chiefs of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens, and let them judge the people at all times. Have them bring every major dispute to you, but let them decide every minor dispute themselves. Make it easier for yourself by letting them share the burden with you.
At this time, I invite you to rise as you are able, as the Torah will be lifted. And it is my pleasure to call forward Neil Dritz and Susie and Mickey Katz for the lifting and dressing of our scroll.
You may be seated.
We'll continue with the Haftarah reading, which is a selection from the prophets that pairs with our Torah reading of the week. Jonah will be reading from Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1, which is on page 507 in the Torah commentary.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divrehem nemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe avdo v'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet v'atzedek. Bishnat mo hamelech uziyachu ve'erei Adonai yoshev al kisei ra'am v'nisa v'sholav meleim et ha'heikal serafim omadim im'al lo sheish shenafayim le'echad b'shtayim yachaseh fanav Uvishtaim Yachaseh Ragalav Uvishtaim Yofef Fikarazel Zeh Ve'amar Kadosh 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 Adonai Ziva'o Melo Kol Ha'aretz Kivodo Ve'avo'u Amo Hasifim Mikol HaKoreh Ve'chavayi Yamelech Asun V'chaya Oli Ki nidmeti Ki Ishtame Shifatayim Anochi Uvtoch Amtome Shifatayim Anochi Yoshev Si Echem Melech Adonai Tzeva'o Re'u Einai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech ha'olam, Surka ha'olamim, Tzadik b'chadaro, Ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'oseh, Ha'medaber u'mekayem, Shechodev ha'rav emet v'tzedek, Al ha'torah v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'nevi'im v'al yom ha'shur v'hazeh, Shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Liktasho u'minucha, Lechavod ultifareh, Al ha'akol, Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu modim lo, Mavachin otach, Yiparashim haba fi kol chai, Tamid le'olam ba, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh ha'Shabbat. I just start reading. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Yitro. It begins after Moses and the Israelites have made it out of Egypt, when they are camped by Mount Sinai. Moses acted as the magistrate among the Israelites. He listens to people's arguments and makes judgments. If people were in disagreement, he helped them come to a compromise, and if someone brought him a problem, he would help them figure it out. Jethro sees how this is impacting Moses. Jethro saw that the Israelites had a lot of problems, and it was taking a toll on Moses, and he wanted to help. So Jethro asks him, "Why are you acting alone when all the Israelites are there to help you?" Jethro tells Moses he should not be doing this alone, because he will wear himself out. Jethro offers Moses counsel. He tells Moses to pick out worthy individuals to act as chiefs over the people, so that they will be able to judge them at times, making Moses' job easier by letting other people help. This portion is trying to teach us about different types of leadership. When I think about leadership, I wonder, what is leadership? Is leadership a responsibility? Is it a blessing or a burden? As for what leadership is about, I think being a leader isn't something to take lightly. It is a big commitment, which requires responsibility. But leadership doesn't just mean that the leader takes care of everything. A leader primarily should provide direction so that the individuals can carry it out on their own. Moses doesn't seem to understand this, so Jethro tries to teach him another style of leadership. He teaches him that Moses can be more effective as a leader by delegating responsibility to people he trusts to help him make decisions. Jethro teaches that being a leader is not just being responsible for others, but it means taking care of yourself. If you can't care for yourself, how can you care for others? When Moses was doing it all by himself, that was a burden because it was harmful, but it had the potential to be helpful. This new type of leadership will help him to see leadership as less of a burden and more of a blessing. We can all learn from Jethro's lesson. As leaders, we don't have to do everything by ourselves, especially when there are people we trust to help. When we let other people help, it is much easier on us and better for the people we are leading. In my own life, I see this in sports, with how coaches and players work together to lead the team. The coach must communicate with the team so that we can, as a group, play our best. But the coach trusts us and teaches us to communicate with each other on the field if we need help with something. Together, we carry the responsibility and care for each other. I think it helps me play when I know I have a group of people who are supporting me and are there to back me up. As a bar mitzvah, I am demonstrating that I can be a leader by helping support a bigger organization reach their mission. As a part of my Jewish community, I am helping to lead services today and can continue to be an active member of my congregation by helping out when I am needed. I am also helping in the community by volunteering at Four Paws for Ability, where I am a playmate with the younger dogs, helping their trainers prepare them to be good helpers. I would like to thank everyone who is here right now and everyone watching the live stream. I would like to thank my family who have come from near and far to be here today, and those who, unfortunately, were unable to make it, but who are still supporting me. I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, and my sister, who have helped me through my studies and who have supported me all my life. I would like to thank my friends who have stood with me since I was little. And last but not least, I would like to thank my teachers, who have taught me what I know and who have guided me along the path to become a bar mitzvah. I would especially like to thank Rabbi Sobo, who has taught me all I know and who has taken time to teach me Torah for this occasion. Thank you.
So Jonah, I want to, first of all, you did a great job. Congratulations. I want to tell everyone a story about something that happened when you were younger. I don't know if you're going to remember it or not, but when Jonah was learning how to ride a bicycle, we started off the usual way. We would hold the back of the bicycle and run alongside as he pedaled, and then once he was steady, we would let go. But there was one day, I don't know if you remember this, but we were a few blocks away from home, and Jonah decided that this was going to be the day that he was going to teach himself how to start from a stopped position. So he got on the bicycle, pushed himself forward, and almost immediately he fell right down to the ground. So I offered to help him up, but he refused my help. He got up, lifted his bicycle up, and tried again. Fell right back down, not surprisingly. This kept on going on and on and on many, many times, and wasn't making very much forward progress at all. But every time he would fall off, he wasn't crying. He would get back up on his own, get the bicycle back up, kept on going, on and on and on. We still had quite a ways to go, but by the time we got there, he pretty much had learned how to start himself off on his own. Probably fell at least 20 times off the bicycle, but no tears, and just he had determination, eyes on the prize, and he was determined to get it done, and he did.
And that story that Jay just told is just one example of this determination and perseverance that Jonah continues to show every day. Anything from learning his saxophone to completing a jigsaw puzzle to building the biggest Lego project we could find for him, to practicing skills for sports when Jonah sets his mind to it, to completing a project or a task or learning a new skill. He will not stop until he achieves that goal. When he was practicing for his bar mitzvah, which he has been doing nonstop for the past year, this is a very intense project. When he came across a part that he was not familiar with, he repeated it over and over and over again until he had it down pat.
One of the lessons that Jonah took from his Torah portion, as he just mentioned in his speech, was that a good leader needs to take on responsibilities for the rest of the group, but also must learn to trust others and delegate tasks to others. New leaders are often determined to become experts in their fields and take on many, many responsibilities. And Jonah's traits of perseverance and determination to learn and perfect new skills will serve him well in the many leadership roles that he takes on through his life.
New leaders often become overwhelmed with burdens of multiple tasks to perform, however. So more experienced leaders learn to create strong teams around themselves to share that burden and work together towards a common goal, which you mentioned in your speech. Jonah has participated in team sports since he was really young, including soccer and track and basketball. And I think he talked in his speech about how he's learned the importance of working together as a team with his participation in the school jazz band and quiz bowl and through many group projects in his classes. Younger and less experienced teammates often look up to him as an example of both individual achievement as well as teamwork and collaboration and just kindness towards one another. Jonah's commitment and motivation to excel individually as well as working with others towards a common goal will really benefit him throughout his life, whether as a leader or as part of a team.
Jonah has always been an animal lover. As a family, we are avid bird watchers, and we have multiple bird feeders in our backyard. And not just birds come, so we get to see birds, squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons, and occasionally deer come pretty close to the house. Jonah has had a number of fish tanks in his room and a number of fish in his room. And most importantly, he really enjoys caring for the cats that we've always had since he was born. And on the weekends, he enjoys leaving his bedroom door open so that his favorite cat can sleep with him. And you might see some photos of that a little bit later on. For the holidays this year, he asked for and he received a cat tree from his grandparents. And as soon as we got home, he put it together and found a place for it in his bedroom so that the cats could come sleep on it and play on it. So it's not surprising that for his bar mitzvah project, he chose to work with Four Paws for Ability, which, as Jonah mentioned, is a local organization that raises and trains service dogs to assist children, adults, and veterans with disabilities. And Jonah will work with the puppies and the adult dogs, helping with all the tasks in the facilities. So helping these dogs to become valuable companions for children and families in need.
We would like to thank all of you, both in person and those that are able to join us remotely, for coming to celebrate this joyous occasion with our family. Thank you to Rabbi Bodney Hallis for your leadership and for your guidance. Thank you to Courtney Cummings for bringing beautiful music to our songs and prayers and for the piano accompaniment. Thank you for Rabbi Sobo for all of your time and flexibility with in-person and Zoom tutoring, and the occasional other things that have come up along the way, and for helping Jonah over the past year plus with his Torah and Haftorah studies. We appreciate your willingness to work with our schedules and tolerate last-minute schedule changes. Most importantly, though, we want to thank you for guiding Jonah along this journey of becoming a bar mitzvah.
I had something else written out, and I can't find it, but that's all right. I also wanted to thank Michelle for probably working almost as hard as Jonah and everybody else here for putting together this beautiful celebration and the luncheon that we'll have afterwards, coordinating all of the food, and it's really been kind of nonstop for her as well. So she did a great job.
Before we finish, we'd like to acknowledge that Jonah's bar mitzvah celebration is quite different than what we would have liked to have done for Hannah's bat mitzvah, which was entirely remote due to pandemic restrictions. Hannah, we appreciate your patience and understanding about this. We know that it has not been easy watching us plan this day for Jonah, and we wish that all of you could have been here for Hannah's bat mitzvah 2 years ago. We know some of you were able to join us remotely for a celebration at least, and we're incredibly proud of the amazing person she is and continues to grow to be, and we love her. And if you get a chance, everyone, today, please extend your congratulations to Hannah as well as to Jonah, to her as well.
Jonah, we are so proud of you for the work and the time that you've put into your Torah studies over the last year. Even though it sometimes took a little bit of prodding to get you going, you were very diligent about putting an effort that was needed to learn your Torah and Haftarah portions and learning how to lead the services today. We're proud of you for the person that you are, for your hard work, your commitment to excellence, and ongoing work towards learning, improving yourself, and becoming a part of the greater community. Becoming a bar mitzvah is a huge accomplishment, one of many that you will achieve through the course of your life. We could not be prouder of you today or any other day. You bring joy to our lives. We love you. Congratulations.
You're not quite there yet. Almost. So, Jonah, I have a few thoughts that I wanted to share with you. We've had some opportunities to talk about leadership with preparing for your Devar Torah, but I think that there are some other parts of the portion that can teach us something as well, and I wanted to share those with you. I also want to say it's been such a joy. I've seen you since you were an infant, and to watch you grow up is really exciting. And I appreciate all of the seriousness and silliness I've seen as you prepared, because it's both really important to get the fullness of this day. The first thing I wanted to share is that the next part of your portion, had you continued, would have said the words, "Do not ascend my altar." No, that's your Haftarah. No, it's not. I just changed the page. There it is. If you do this, and that was to share the burden, and God so commands you, you will be able to bear up, and all these people too will go home. And it says in our text, b'shalom. We have in our Torah commentary that they say unwearied. But I think that the ultimate goal that we see in this, what are you looking for? Oh, you don't have to worry. The ultimate, you're good. You've done your part. And in this, when it talks about this, what it is pointing to is that the ultimate goal of all of this was to create a sense of wholeness, of completeness, of shalom. And that to do that, we have to do a lot of different things. And I wanted to point out what those things were. First of all, when we talk about Moses, there's something really important that he teaches us, which is to listen to people, even if they're not the people he expected to be hearing from. So something we don't know about Jethro is that Jethro was a Midianite priest. So he wasn't part of the Israelites. And yet he has this very important role as his father-in-law to come to observe and to share with him his perception of what is going on. And so even from someone who he wouldn't have assumed could be a source of knowledge, he was able to take wisdom and to respect. And I think that you demonstrate in your own life ways that you're listening to other people, that you don't necessarily consider yourself just the expert, but that there are people who will help you on your journey, which is so important, which is what I think Jethro teaches us as well. Because if Moses is that we can take advice from people, the advice that Jethro teaches us is then that it's okay to take advice, right? That he listened to him. And sometimes we don't have to have all the knowledge. We don't have to have all the answers, even when you're in a position of leadership. That there are people around you that you can trust, and you don't have to take the burden on all on your own. And as someone who I see as a future leader, I feel like that's something really important to tell you and remind you of as you grow up. The last thing I want to talk to you about is there's a saying in the Talmud where it talks about every judge who judges with utter truthfulness, even for a single hour, the Torah regards it as though he had become a partner with God in the work of creation. It's important to me because I think that what we learn from this, the people who he ended up appointing to help him with this delegation, these judges were people who not only were able to give him advice, but were able, in this case, to teach him that it's important to be partners with God in this work. That by doing it by himself, perhaps that was one way of understanding it. But by doing it where he is engaging other people, according to this, when you engage them and you engage in truthfulness, you give them an opportunity to share in that mitzvah. And it's also helping to spread holiness among the community, which leads us to a very famous expression of tikkun olam. The Torah regards it as if he had become a partner with God in the work of creation. And as we think about this idea of creating a sense of shalom among the people, then we have the idea that this is what we're looking to accomplish, and that all of us have a role in it, and that we can take advice from everyone, and that working together with people, even those that we don't assume, we can create an opportunity to repair the world, not just through acts of good deeds, which you've experienced and you've been participating in, not just with your work with Four Paws, but in other parts of your life. I've seen you take on that role and responsibility. But that can be something that you continue as you think about including so many people as a way of bringing us closer with Tikkun Olam to a more complete sense of shalom, of completeness in this world. I think that it's a perfect Torah portion that you had for yourself, because when we looked at this, you chose to read this part about Jethro on leadership. You had the opportunity to read the Decalogue. Do you know what the Decalogue is? The 10 utterances, which are also known as the 10 commandments, right? But you chose to focus on this part with Jethro because, as I just said, the lesson is far more inclusive. Everyone has to follow those laws. But in this case, we're learning about how to take that law and to work among people to make sure that it is appropriate and that it is used wisely and responsibly. And to me, that speaks to you, that it's not just about doing it all on your own, but engaging other people. As you become a bar mitzvah, this is something that I think you will continue to take on, as you said, with your leadership responsibilities. And your responsibilities as a full participating member of the congregation. I want you to take a second to look out here and to look around the room. You can start around there and make eye contact with all the people in this space. It's a good opportunity to really see the people who are in this room. One of the things that happens when we're here is that we sense support, love, and the sense of God found in our community. And you brought that to this moment by bringing all of these people together in celebration of you and to observe our Shabbat morning service, to add their songs and their joy to our prayers, but most importantly to support you. And I want you to remember this moment as you get older, because as we said, there will be moments when perhaps you are weary and you can't do it all on your own. And I want you to feel that sense of community and these people who are here in this room and more who you will collect along the way to be your friends and like family, but that you are never alone and that God is always with you. With that, I'm done talking. We're going to continue now as we rise to return the Torah to the Ark. And I would invite forward those who will be closing the Ark as Jay and Michelle, if you would come forward. We will go ahead and return the Torah to the Ark.
May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find.
You can find the words for Aleinu on page 282 in your prayer book.
Please pray with me at the top of page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever
and ever.
This time it is my pleasure to invite forward Temple's President Lyndon Novak. I can speak English, I promise. And Janice from Federation, is that what I heard? So Linda, on behalf of both boards. You want to come to the mic?
Congratulations, Jonah. Thank you for leading us in such a beautiful, beautiful service. You're more than welcome. You did a great job. And I know it's a lot of hard work and preparation, but you sailed through it. On behalf of the congregation, to make it official, your Temple Israel certifies that you were called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah on this day. And congratulations. A Kiddush cup also from Temple Israel. All packaged, so you'll have to wait to open it.
They've upped the amount of the trip to Israel.
They certainly have. This is Birthright. Oh my goodness. The help with the trip for Israel through Birthright for $3,250, which is amazing. Make use of that one.
Through the URJ.
For the URJ, for Birthright. Oh, that's fantastic. And this is, as Rabbi Sobai will show you, a tzedakah box, and it is from the Joe and Elaine Bettman and family contribution. They do this to every bar and bat mitzvah. Dear Jonah, tzedakah is the Hebrew word for the acts, and in English we call charity, and is derived from the word tzedak, meaning righteousness, justice, or fairness. The giving of charity and performance of righteous acts, therefore, is deeply ingrained in our Jewish ideals, values, and consciousness. As you begin your adult life, the Bettman family, through the Jewish Federation of Greater Dayton, is pleased to present this beautiful personalized tzedakah box crafted by artist Gary Rosenthal. It is our hope that this special day and this gift will inspire you throughout your life to connect to your Jewish heritage through Masam Tovim, or righteous deeds, Tikkun Olam, the repair of the world, and tzedakah, charity. And so, on behalf of the Bettman family and the Jewish Federation of Greater Dayton, Mazel Tov, and may every occasion be as sweet as this one. Use it in good health. Thank you.
Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We are in a period of Shiva for Bobby Minor Glenn and Armando Susmano. We are also in a period of Shloshim for Ramon Harris, Jim Levinson, Marty Sacker, and Sharon Hatcher. We also remember those who died at this season in years past, those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own, as we observe yahrzeits this week for Bob Archer, Larkin Barnett, Rose S. Beller, Howard M. Bernstein, Theodore Bernstein, Geraldine Bloom, Gustav Bloomer, Sid Dickstein, Minnie Engelman, Lenora Farrer, Milton Feldman, Carol Bachrock Fink, Albert Fox, Bertha Frank, Doris Galler, Elsie Goodman, Roy Harlan, Ida Cohn, Pearl Launer, Barbara Levin, Molly Mayerson, Melvin Mayerson, Harry Mellett, Robert Nathan, Melvin Peerless, Marcus Ritter, Ida Rosen, Saul Rosenthal, Isidore Schmerin, Amelia F. Stern, Jeffrey Timmons, Anna M. Tuck, Bert Unger, Esther Weissman, Ann Weissman, Abram R. Weprin. Of course, we also include those whose names are in our heart, who we wish especially could be with us today. But I also would like for anyone to call forward if there are any other names that you would like for us to think about as we recite Kaddish, or any names that need to be pronounced more correctly. I invite you to call it as my hand goes around the room. I invite all who are remembering or who are in mourning to please rise first. And we as a community rise together for the sacred words of Kaddish found on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah be'alma divrach yurte v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always and only be for a blessing among us. Amen. At this time, we'll continue with the words for Oseh shalom on page 294 at the bottom, but I'd also like to invite forward some of our little helpers to help by passing out some candy that you will not eat yet. So you will hold on to the candy while we're singing, and we will tell you what to do with it as soon as the song is over. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu,
made it all the way around the room yet with our candy? In just a few moments, once we're done passing it out. One of the things that is a part of our tradition is to really celebrate when we have a joyous occasion such as this, to celebrate this momentous time. As we say that he is now Jewishly adulting. As we celebrate you, the first main thing you have to endure is what we call the candy toss. And with the candy toss, we will lightly toss, it's the word toss, not throw, toss candy upon Jonah in celebration of how sweet it was to hear him lead us and to read such beautiful words of Torah. Have we given out all of our candy? Okay, so here's the big important part. You're going to wait until we are off the bima. We'll count to 3, and you can throw it on. No, not
Toss.
Throw. Toss.
Toss.
Whoa.
Underhand.
I've never said that. Toss.
Toss.
Underhand up at Jonah. Now, for some of the littler ones like Ethan, you can have a seat, but, Ethan, you can have a seat, but, that's my kid, don't worry. I wouldn't call anyone else out. But at the end of this, we're going to first say Kiddush and Motzi because, as we heard, Michelle has been working really hard to provide us with a celebratory luncheon, and we conclude with those words to prepare us to eat. After that, all of the children are invited to come forward and to collect the candy and celebrate with Jonah. And you can take some first, Jonah, if you'd like. So we'll continue. Oh, we're on this side? Yeah. Okay, with the words of Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, hamotzi lechem haaretz.
Amen.
Thank you all for being here. We know that on behalf of the family, they are so appreciative. Again, those of you who are here in person and online. And celebration continues in Aleph, or in Bet and Gimel of the Great Hall, which is just down. This is the longest walk, but it's down the hallway. We hope it is something that you will join with to share some of the joy together with the family. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.